Well, I'm a little bored today. So, hey, why don't you give me some topics to talk about movies?
That makes sense because you are a boring person.
That's right. I mean, I'm with you.
Okay, so
Right, Mark? Right.
what kind of movies do you dislike?
Mark's awful quiet today. He's not saying a whole lot. But he's probably been the most articulate he's ever been. What was the question?
What kind of movies do you dislike?
Oh, okay. This one, you might even agree with this one. I hate remakes of movies for the modern audience. I'm so tired of that expression. Oh, we're going to make this movie. We're not going to make it better. We're just going to make it more for a modern audience, which just means they're just going to bait people and switch people and not put anything new into the movies. I want them to start writing original characters again. Get out there and if you want to represent something or somebody, write a movie about that. The movie came out this last year called The Boys. Two men in love with each other. It's a homosexual love story. It didn't do well in the theaters, but I appreciated the fact that they just wrote their own characters. They didn't just swap people out and insert people. They made characters.
And they were very open about what they were doing.
That's right. And it was funny.
And they didn't hide it like in the advertising. This is exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah.
We're not going to make you think you're getting one thing and then boom, all this stuff happens inside there that you weren't expecting.
Yeah. Oh, you know that famous cartoon character that you like all the time? We're just going to swap it out and make it this for a modern audience. No, write a character for us. Write good characters and good stories. Make new stories so that everyone can enjoy. Mm-hmm. That's what I hate. I hate modern audience. That phrase, for a modern audience, I makes me not want to see the movie.
I think that's part of their marketing pitch. Because now they're going to gain controversy advertising.
Yeah, but I think it's backfiring. Because look at all the made-for-modern audience movies that are out there. They're all failing.
Mm-hmm. But they're doubling down on them.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. No. I don't understand. I'm going to start off with an answer from my wife. She hates Groundhog Day style movies. Where
the repetitive movies?
Yeah, where you go through part of the story and then, you're back at the beginning, and now you repeat the same thing. And you're back at the beginning, and you repeat the same thing. She hates those.
Okay.
I almost immediately have to turn off whatever we're watching when that starts happening. For me, shared universes, remakes, sequels for the sake of a sequel. I'm with you. I want original movies.
Yeah.
I'm getting so tired of been there, done that.
Yeah. I don't mind if there's a good story to tell, like Mission Impossible. They're almost all the same, but they're all different. Each movie is different from each other. Each has different things in it that make you want to go see it.
Because they're all standalone.
Yeah. But it's part of the same, like the same actors are in the same movies. They show up time and time again. It's a shared universe. It's
not a shared universe.
But a character that was in Mission Impossible 2 can show up in 5. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. That they don't necessarily are in 3 and 4, but then they'll show up. But it's different. It's not like, I had to see that in order to know what's going on. They do stand on their own.
Okay. What's your favorite comedy movie?
You know what it's going to be. I actually have a couple I think I put on there. Nope, I just put one. I put down The Other Guys.
Okay.
It's my most repetitive watched comedy, even more than really Ace Ventura, comedies that I really, really like, Euro Trip, all those kind of movies. I'll go back to The Other Guys and enjoy it as much as the first day I watched it.
Yeah, I'll agree with that one. And I'll say it was one of those movies where I wasn't expecting to like it.
Oh, it did nothing in the theaters.
And it just blew me away.
I didn't even see it in theaters. I saw it on TV. The first time I saw it, and I went, how did I miss this movie? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, mine, sorry, is Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with Dumb and Dumber.
It's just so ridiculous that I can't help but love it.
Oh yeah, like some of the things that they do in there. You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world. The fact that they're driving across the country in a dog. Things like the snowball fight. When on the day, just all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. It may be stupid and it may
but it's
comment on my intelligence.
Jim Carrey in his prime.
I think that's the year he released three different movies.
Three big movies at the same time. Yeah.
What movie never fails to make you happy?
I actually have two. I have Elf.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I only watched it like last year. That was the first time I ever watched it.
I bet you'll watch it more and more though.
It was a good movie. I don't know how often I'll watch it.
You'll watch it at Christmas.
I really appreciated the movie.
Yeah. And Elf and the movie Love Actually.
You always talk about that. I still haven't seen it.
I just it's a mixed cast, and it has all these different story plots in it. But there's a couple scenes in there when he's decided to head off and ask this white girl to marry him, or the kid with his little girlfriend. Like, there's so many little things that at the end of the movie just uplift you like that. It's like, and not everything works out. Not everyone has a happy ending, but the ones that are, especially the end, it just like you can't help but smile at the end of the movie.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Wally. It's the innocence of Wally, the love story, the little cockroach friend is funny.
The devastation of Earth, the pollution of the populace.
That's the reality.
Everyone getting fat and only being moved around in chairs.
But even the fat people find love.
That's true.
They find life break away from their screens.
If everyone looks the same, it's the same. You got no choice.
It's funny. The sense of urgency to care for each other's well-being. Just at the end of it, it's just, that was so good.
I would have never thought of that for your feel-good movie.
Yeah, that always makes me happy. Wall-E is like on my top 10 list.
Okay.
What is a loved movie or franchise that you just don't get?
I got like 20 of them. But I'll just go with two. Fast and the Furious. Because I was a big fan of the first movie. Yep. When it was all about the racing. I thought Vin Diesel was the first time I'd seen... Actually, I'd seen him in another movie once where he was the Riddick movie, his first one. Wasn't called Riddick at the time, but he was Riddick in the movie.
Okay.
And I had known... And then he came out and he was just this cool racer. And I went, okay. And then the streetcar with the first time they ever used nitro. It was cool. It was different. Really enjoyed it. Then they start becoming superheroes. Basically, you can't die. They can, jump off bridges, catch each other. I'm surprised Vin Diesel hasn't caught a car and put it down to safety in these movies yet. They went to space. They raced nuclear submarines. They dragged a safe out of a wall.
It basically became a satire of action movies.
Yeah, and physics meant nothing. So, no. And I tried to get into it, but I could not. The Twilight series. Every time I went and saw a Twilight movie, I'm sitting there going... Because to me, there was no real love connection between the characters. The characters were all too sappy all the way through it. There was never, even when the bad guys showed up and they were going to come and go after the child, and I felt no in danger. There was no thriller. It was all like sappy.
I won't say I love the series, but I don't hate it as much as
I hated it.
Mine is, I might get some flack for this, but Harry Potter. Like, it's one of the biggest franchises in the world, and fine, like, the first couple of movies were pretty good.
It went downhill.
But, like, overall, they're just kind of middling movies to me. Like, I don't see what is so special about them at all.
Well, it's like Fast and the Furious. The first one was good. First Harry Potter was good. Maybe even the second or third.
But even the first Harry Potter, like, I guess... original, if you want to say, because we hadn't seen a Harry Potter movie before, but it didn't blow me away.
I was intrigued by the universe that they had created, the magical, the muggles and all that, their own languages, and the characters were very charming and things like that. I did like the first couple. But then they got into the I'm coming after you and the snake and it went crazy.
It's just so muted color palette, like, and the British movies, whenever they set it in like their old days kind of set with castles and their British streets in the old days, it's just so boring.
Paul doesn't like to travel. He doesn't like history at all.
No, well, any kind of old days thing, but if this is going to be like a kids movie, like, spark it up a little bit.
Hey, Don, why didn't you bring Paul with you to London, England, and to Paris? And that castle looks so old.
Well, castles are cool if it's a castle movie, and then there's fighting and stuff. But this is just—it's supposed to be a kids movie with magic and wonder, and okay, fine, they do magic stuff, but it's like against this muted gray palette. It's
Yeah. I will watch a Harry Potter movie way faster than I will watch a Twilight movie.
Have you ever seen a movie so good it made you want to watch it again immediately after it ended?
Yes. Well, you want me to elaborate? Would you like me to elaborate on that? Okay. Obviously, Star Wars.
The original.
The original Star Wars. It was so groundbreaking at the time. Not only did we immediately walk out of the theater and go back again the next day to watch it. We saw the movie at 1:30 and stayed until it closed at midnight, and we watched it over and over and over again on the same day. Back then, you didn't have to leave the theater. You could just stay. So that one for sure. Did that. And the only other one I can remember doing that, I saw this with my friend Albert. You remember Albert? Best man at my wedding was Back to the Future. We walked out of Back to the Future at Saint Laurent Shopping Center theaters, and we were talking to each other. That was so good, blah, blah, blah. Then, yeah, let's go see it again. We turned around and went, bought tickets, and went back and saw it again. So those are the two.
Okay. My first answer, I wanted to see it again. I didn't, because I was just a young kid. But Police Academy.
Okay.
Now remember, I was a young kid. The Police Academy isn't the greatest movie ever, but as a kid, I loved that movie so much. The next one just happened super recently, and it was years after the fact, after it came out, Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
I said, okay, well, my wife is going to go see it with me, the second movie, because it's in theaters. Maybe I'll watch it again with her. And I enjoyed it just as much as the first time. So, I didn't expect that. I never want to watch a movie right after it finishes.
No.
This was the very next morning.
Very rare. Very rare to do that, for sure. I think the only recent one for me would have been Maverick, where I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't mind watching it right away. So, what movie have you gone and seen and literally watched it again, like right away or the next day? Very curious to find that, because everyone has that movie that's like stood out in their minds when they saw it. So it all depends on how old you are, right? Star Wars for me was not Star Wars for him, because it had already been out 10 years by the time he saw the first one around. So let us know in the comments down below. I was going to end it there. You don't want to end it there? Let us know in the comments down below.